Welcome back to a new video. In this video, we'll be talking about the Ravens flock perching staff and the build I'm building with it and stuff. But also note, sorry for the lighting issue on this video. I've tried fixing it. The sun's just gonna peek through, so I'm gonna look like I got some holy light behind me. Sorry for that. But anyways, let's get right into this. Now, see, this build is going to be a minion, a heavy minion build, like as it says, because it does minion damage and minion stuff. And since the spiraling conspiracy, the Ravens are considered minions, I'm going to be grabbing a lot of minion passives, minion AoE, minion this, minion that, everything I can for the minions so that we can increase. We can try and increase the size of the ring. If anybody wants to correct me on that, because this is all like in my head. This is what I thought of within an hour, and just you know testing with my brain and stuff. And like I don't know which passive to go with, because which passive to go with. So in the comments down below, we have the Lich chosen, but from what I'm reading is the Lich does not work with it. So if you guys could give me like what ascendancy tree you would use for this build, let me know in the comments down below, or correct me if I'm wrong anywhere along the lines. But like this is the staff basically going for the conspiracy madness, and to get more into the skill we're using, this is like the base build, no other skills involved but this one and stuff. And it's like the flock generation. Ravens are passively added to your flocks, 1 per total of power of enemy slain, or rapidly spawn once every 1.6 when a rare or unique enemy is in your presence. The flock effect act as an aura of damage. Mad flock, basically I can just call them down and all hit at once. And as it gives us here, it gives us like notable modifiers and synergies. Minion damage, the Raven counts as minions, so they scale with all minions. Damage modifiers rather than your own spells. Staff stats, the Raven flocks Perching staff, yeah, it basically goes over what the staff has on it. We've already looked at that. And basically what I was going to do is, like, since I've been reading into it, a lot of minion builds say to grab this. Where is it? Necromantic. You and your allies and your parents have unholy might, and while you are not on low mana, lose 5% of your mana per second. Unholy might is a buff that grants 30% all damage as extra chaos damage. You and your allies. So I believe Necromantic Conduit works with it, but I've also read that it doesn't, which I think that might be wrong, but it should work because they're allies. Basically what I want to do is grab minion stuff, like as per usual, and then I'm gonna stack a few other minions in the build. Don't know which ones yet, but we're gonna grab like a few minions, and then and then basically scale the other minions with it on chaos damage, and basically make them chaos minions, and then convert most of my fizz into chaos with the build. Fizz to chaos conversion. And then what we'll do is we'll grab into the soulless form, life, and eternal life. We'll grab into these. This, and this, because it'll give us more life. Our 10% of damage taken bypasses energy shield. No inherent mana regeneration. Regenerate mana equal to the 6% of your life per second. So that'll fix the issue with the necromantic conduit, hopefully. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then we'll go with the eternal life, and then like we might scale like the curse stuff, curse areas, domain over flesh. You can apply an additional curse, blackened heart, which I'm probably gonna go blackened heart on. You would have to grab this into the cursed area, into the reputation of souls. Have 30% chance to explode, dealing that. So then what we'll do is we'll go curses. Get a few curses that increase our chaos damage, and then run that through. And that's basically like the build on. That's basically what I've got so far on, like, you know, the actual stuff here on the build. And basically, we'll run a basic minion build to start off the league, since, you know, the item requires level 78, and it'll take some time to find it, or, you know, unless it's cheap, buy it. We'll do that later in the league, but start off playing regular minions, get our currency, grab the flock, and then basically scale all of our. So once we get all the minion stuff we need, grab region, like right here. Where's it? Right here. No, right here. Grab a lot of mana regen, a lot of since we're gonna play necromantic conduit, a lot of mana regen, a lot of energy shield, some life, and basically get your resists in order and turn ourselves into like a tanky just make ourselves more tanky and not focus so much on like the damage for ourselves and rather the minions, and then we'll run that as the main build. And that's sort of like what I've got so far on like the league start and stuff. Honestly, I think it's a great build idea. Like, you know, if you guys want to help fill out the gaps, you know, tell me what I could do to make it better, what items I could use, because like what I was thinking is using your basic minion items that'll give us more damage to the minions, minion AoE, minion movement speed, stuff like that, to make sure like the build works real well with the minions and stuff. But, you know, basic ain't even like basic stuff here. Basic stuff here is what I was gonna do with this build and stuff. Not much into it. Just I had this idea come up. I was looking at the league stuff, and this is kind of what I saw, what I wanted to play, because that skill looked so cool. I just like the RF with the ravens spiraling around you and stuff, made it look so cool. Like, it was just so nice. But yeah, this is pretty much like the build I'm going to be running for like the league start and stuff. So like, if you guys, like I've been saying, if you guys got any comments, any advice for the build, any ideas, suggestions, any of that stuff, you know what to do. Comment down below what you think about my build idea so far. Like the video, you know, subscribe and all that good jazz, and share this video. Make sure it gets popping. But yeah, peace out. See you guys. See you guys tomorrow. See you guys another day. Hope you guys have a good one. Signing off.